And he's helped us with irrigation. He's helped us with working towards heritage, and he's made sure that we've always had an open door, and he's always taken that open door. The other thing is, I have to say, is that all of the Conservatives, what they've done is they've taken the time to meet with us, meet with the town, and we look forward to a continued relationship that's strong and that's going to move Niagara-on-the-Lake further down the road, because we have a lot of big plans for one of the most recognizable towns in the world. So I would just want to thank you, Mr. Premier.
Thank you, Deputy.
Appreciate it. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate you taking the time. And we look forward to working with you in the future, and we look forward to working with the entire cabinet. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, my friend. That's you. Yeah. Thank you.
Great to have you here. Good morning, everybody, and great comments from Deputy Mayor Wiens. I just want to welcome all of you here. I want to welcome the Premier, and I want to welcome you all to Niagara-on-the-Lake and the Niagara District Airport. We're proud partners in this airport with the City of Niagara Falls, the City of St. Catharines, Mayor Jim, and Mayor Matt Cisco in ownership of this facility. And want to recognize some of our civic officials here. Of course, we already recognized Deputy Lord Mayor. I want to recognize Councillor Patel and Councillor Stevens, and as commissioners on the Airport Commission as well. Chair Greg White. Greg, Chair, thank you for being there. I want to recognize our CEO of the airport, Dan Pylan. Dan, thanks for being here. And any other civic officials that I may have missed, welcome. It's great to see you here. In Niagara-on-the-Lake, we're really blessed. This is a wonderful place. Not just today, but year-round. So invite everybody to always explore the wonderful offering that Niagara-on-the-Lake provides. Whether you're strolling through our beautiful Heritage District on Queen Street, shopping, dining, or taking in some arts and culture at the Shaw. We have Tim Jennings here from the Shaw. It's a beautiful world-class performance. And the Premier and his government have been good friends to Niagara-on-the-Lake. Good friends to our farmers, our agricultural community, with respect to supporting our agricultural irrigation system, as Deputy mentioned. Strong supporters of our businesses, our post-secondary institutions, our tourism partners. Premier, you and your ministers are always listening and available in making our community successful. You're good friends to our residents and our community, especially in the area of supporting our heritage. Our community, as you know, is home to many national significant sites. And Premier, with your support, our council has been very successful in ensuring that these places are here for generations. So in closing, Niagara-on-the-Lake has many wonderful features, and one of them is the fact that we're a border town. And we truly value the friendship and the business relationships with our American friends and families and neighbors. Premier, I'd like to say that with recent concerns around tariffs, many residents have came to me and said they really appreciate your leadership at this time. And so standing up for Ontarians and Canadians, I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
So we're really pleased to be here today and listen to the Premier, and thank you so much for being in the town with us today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So as we move forward with the rest of the program, I just want to come forward, and from the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake, as the Deputy Lord Mayor, I want to endorse the Premier in his in this election, and we look forward to working with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, Mayor.
All right, so I asked the Premier where we're going to be tomorrow. We were together yesterday, but when I don't wear a tie, he wears a tie. Yesterday he came cash, I had a tie, so I can't seem to get it right. But I'm grateful to do the introduction of our Premier. This man has been listening, and this is the key I find. When communication breaks down, it's almost always the same because people aren't listening. And he doesn't just listen, he takes action. And this is the guy, and I've told the story, he's going to get tired of hearing me say it, but this is the guy that gives his phone number out at public events. And he doesn't do it as a publicity stunt. He actually returns calls. And I can tell you, I don't know how many times we've talked, he's returning calls to residents all over Ontario. And when you think about this, and the one day, and I've said this before, I said, Premier, how do you do this? I only have 100,000 people, and I don't give my cell number out because I can't keep up with the calls. I said, with 15 million people, how do you do it? And he goes, buddy, there's 16 million. And then Christmas time, and I've told this story a couple of times, he calls me at Christmas time. And he said, Mayor, I hope you can help me. I need some help with something. I said, yeah, Premier, what do you need? And he said, well, there's a guy in Niagara Falls, and he's got a problem with rats in his townhouse. And I'm listening. I said, okay, in Niagara Falls, okay. And he said, yeah, and he needs some help. There's some problems with the landlord. There's some problems with his. Of course I will. But can I ask how this ended up on your desk? And he said, yeah. Well, the guy texted me, so I phoned him. You tell me a premier or a governor anywhere that returns calls to the millions of residents. That's the kind of guy, and he certainly returns the mayor's and the Lord Mayor's calls. He doesn't just return our calls, but he takes action. And I'm going to give this guy credit because here in Niagara, this airport, he's already committed to making this integral with our destination, Niagara. Yes, of course. I know he's grateful for my endorsement, the mayors of St. Catharines, Welland, and now the Deputy Lord Mayor of Niagara-on-the-Lake. Our hospital that he's building, $3.6 billion hospital he's building, the GO train, all the things that matter to us, and also with the wineries in the theater in Niagara-on-the-Lake. This man listens and he delivers, and I don't make a habit of endorsing premiers, but I do with this guy because I believe in him. He's consistent and he knows what we need. And further, as Deputy Lord Mayor Wiens said, with someone like Trump, this guy's got the experience of U.S. business in Chicago and New Jersey. He knows how to work with Americans. He knows how to work with Trump. I can't think of anyone else that would deal with this situation, which is the biggest threat to this country right now. I wouldn't want to experiment with any other kind of leadership. This guy is true and try. I absolutely support him and would like to bring up the greatest premier that we've ever had, Doug Ford.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Boy, well, first of all, thank you. I'm going to get to our elected officials in 1 second, but I really want to thank Daniel and Greg and everyone here at Niagara District Airport for hosting us today. And I just can't wait to support you in many ways, financially as well, working with the federal government. But I just want to thank Mayor Diodati. I got to compliment him back, and no disrespect to any mayors, but he loves when I say he's the greatest mayor ever, okay? You love the deputy and the other mayor. I love how they put Lord Mayor Zlapa. That is beautiful. I love the word Lord. You know, Jim, you haven't had the Lord in front of you. We'll put it, we'll put Your Highness in front of you or something. And Deputy Lord Mayor Wiens, for your very kind words, and thank you for your endorsement. I'm very humbled and very grateful. My friends, it's absolutely great to be back here in beautiful Niagara and the Niagara region. It truly is beautiful, even more beautiful in the summer when you see, about 11 million visitors or even more come by and just experience the beauty of it. Alongside your great Niagara Falls candidate, Ruth Ann Noonstag, I should say. Ruth Ann, thank you. What a great business mind, a real business person, and we can't wait to have you down at Queen's Park because you'll have a very, very strong voice down there. Over the past week, I've been traveling across our province. I've been meeting with workers, families, and business owners. Everywhere I go, I get questions about President Trump's tariffs and what they mean for Ontario's future, the future of our economy. And let me be very clear. Canada may have secured a 30-day pause, but the threat of tariffs loom over us, over our economy. The simple truth is, as long as Donald Trump is president, the risk of tariffs will never go away. Whether he implements them in a month, next year, or 2 years from now, he will use the threat of tariffs to get what he wants. Make no mistake about it. Canada and Ontario will continue to stare down the threat of tariffs. We're in a period of unprecedented economic risk and lengthy negotiations. If and when they come, Trump's tariffs will devastate our economy. They'll put hundreds of thousands of jobs at risk, on factory floors, on construction sites, in retail stores, and communities right across our great country. Right now, all of us, the federal government, provinces, territories, business, and union leaders, we need to be laser focused on avoiding tariffs. We need to use every day of the month long tariff pause to show that Canada is serious about securing our border, to show that Canada is taking action to fight the heinous trafficking of fentanyl and other deadly drugs. I haven't been shy to disagree with President Trump when he's threatened Canada, when he's threatened Ontario jobs and families. I push back, and I'll continue to do so with everything I've got. You know me, I'll never ever hold back. At the same time, we have to act when it's the right thing to do for both countries. And protecting our border, making our communities more secure, it's the right thing to do. There's no comparing the Canada-US border with the Mexico-US border. Canada represents 0.001% of fentanyl that goes into the U.S. compared to Mexico. Still, in my opinion, that is way, way too much. 1 ounce of fentanyl, 1 ounce or one illegal handgun or one illegal border crossing is one too many. We need to do more to secure Canada's border. It's not only what President Trump has asked us, it's the right thing to do. It's why Ontario launched Operation Deterrence with our OPP, working alongside fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, drones, off-road vehicles, boats, and foot patrol. 200 dedicated OPP officers have already conducted 10,000 hours of focused patrol to detect, to disrupt, and deter illegal cross-border activity. We've already seen real, tangible results. Operation Deterrence has seized 21 illegal firearms in this short period already, 21 illegal firearms, and 624 kilograms of cocaine. It's recovered 7 stolen vehicles and intercepted 8 illegal border crossers. In total, there's been over 566 charges have been laid, each one making Ontario and U.S. communities safer and more secure. This is welcome news, and it's exactly the kind of action our American allies need to see. When it comes to keeping you safe, there's more we can do to protect Ontario borders, to protect Ontario communities. There's more we can do to show our American allies we're serious. First, I'm urging the federal government to introduce strict and severe mandatory minimum sentences for criminals convicted of drug trafficking. Any thug caught destroying communities like that, they need to be locked up for a long, long time. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're gone, they're done. We'll also ensure landlords are held liable for knowingly hosting illicit drug production and trafficking sites. Next, Ontario will work with the federal government to ensure the RCMP, regional and local law enforcement have the resources they need to address money laundering and other financial crimes by cartels and gangs. This needs to include empowering financial regulators, to audit banks, credit unions, and any financial institution for money laundering or financing drug cartels. We'll turn over every single rock to find the root cause and make sure that we keep the cartels and gangs out of our communities. We're also urging the federal government to increase inspections at shipping yards, ports, rail yards, and airports of all point of origin containers from China, the source of fentanyl and other illicit drugs that are plaguing Canadian American communities. For our part, a re-elected PC government will invest $50 million to purchase 2 more H-135 helicopters for the Niagara region police as well as the Windsor Police Services. This will allow them to patrol our border, 2 very important border towns, but this gives them the tools they need to enhance Operation Deterrence and increase patrols and enforcement at 2 key border crossings, so we can detect more illegal activity and put more criminals behind years ahead. They're going to be tough. Mark my words. Stabilize our economy and divide our country. He even says he'll use economic force to get his way. For the next 4 years, we're in a battle. On February 27th, I'm asking every Ontario resident for your vote for a strong, stable 4-year mandate to do whatever protect workers and families and communities, and mandate to keep us competitive, and mandate to clean up our streets and deliver better care. I'm asking for a strong, stable 4-year mandate to protect Ontario. Thank you so much, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
I'll take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is 1 question and 1 follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question. First question.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Jessica Smith-Cross from the Trillium.
Hi, Jessica.
I've spoken with some Ontarians who support you, but were appalled by President Trump by the time he won re-election. One of their reasons was January 6th. Can you tell these voters how you saw that happen and then thought he was fit to lead the U.S. again?
Well, as you know, and everyone, I have no say in the U.S. elections. You know, President Trump made a very clear mandate and was supported by the people of the U.S., not only the overall population, but, the Electoral College vote. But, this is here and there. I'm here to protect Ontario. I'm here to protect the jobs and the businesses and the communities. And I will do whatever it takes to support and protect our community.
To follow up, some of these Ontario voters have a problem with Trump's character because of things like the policy that separated children from their families at the border, the things he said about women and immigrants, among other things. Are you okay with, and by your comments you show you're okay with all of those things?
Well, again, there's no one been fighting harder to protect Ontario, protect Canadian jobs, and protect Canada. I've been a very loud voice and many times a very critical voice of what President Trump has been doing. But this is about one simple thing: avoiding the tariffs to protect our economy. Everything else, if our economy is not protected, everything else goes down the tubes. Number one thing is to protect our economy, and they're very clear on what they're asking. You know, Americans and the Trump administration are saying secure our border. My question again to Prime Minister Trudeau: where is the fentanyl czar? It's been now 5 days, I believe, and time is running out. We can't be waiting till the last minute. Please appoint a fentanyl czar. Start showing the Americans what we are doing. Show the Trump administration that we have helicopters and fixed wing aircraft and boots on the ground and boats in the water and ATVs up and down. That's what Ontario is doing. But we need to see action from the federal government. I just can't stress this enough. That's what they want.
Hi there, Lorenda Redikoff with CBC
Hi,
News. Hi. It's being reported that Minister Trudeau said public comments about cutting Mexico out of the trade deal with the U.S. damaged relations with. Did you mess up with your comments on Mexico?
Well, I don't believe I messed up when parts were coming from China, cheap parts, and then Mexico would throw a Made in Mexico sticker on, not playing by the rules, costing American and Canadian jobs. It's pretty simple, and I think the average person sitting at home understands when you don't play by the rules and you're bringing in cheap parts and you're putting a Made in Mexico sticker on and disguising it as Made in Mexico, they aren't playing by the rules. Simple.
Looking ahead to your Washington trip, using your position as Premier improperly to give yourself an advantage in this campaign.
Well before the election, I've been focused on this trade deal. I've been focused on protecting Ontarians. That's what I'm focusing on. And I'm going down there with a group of premiers, and make sure that Ontario has a strong voice, Canada has a strong voice. I'll be talking to elected officials down there, business people and other people, to get our message out that we're stronger together. Let's build an AmCam fortress. You know, let's be the strongest, wealthiest, richest, safest 2 countries in the world. That's my message, and that's what I'm going to be delivering. I'm going down there to protect the people of Ontario.
Hi, Premier. Sean Cowan from CHCH
Hi,
News.
Sean.
Hello. So we're here in wine country. Right now there are barriers in place between provinces. Do you have any plans to make it easier to sell Canadian-made products between provinces?
Yeah, and what a great question, by the way. This is all about interprovincial trade, and, you know, everyone's been talking about it, but they always have, well, you can, I'm okay with it, but I got to protect the wines in BC, or I got to protect ABC in out east. No, we've had a good discussion with all the premiers. We know that it will increase our GDP anywhere from $50 to $100 billion. As the chair of the Federation, I'm going to do everything we can to move forward as quickly as possible. Premier Simpson, R.J. Simpson, so we have to knock down the barriers right across our country and make sure that it benefits everyone.
And a steel question for Hamilton now. Yes. So with the he welcomes tariffs. They would be great for the company. What's your message to him?
Well, I've spoken, and, you know, maybe he's given me a different message. Tariffs aren't good. They aren't good for the steel industry. They aren't good for the aluminum industry. They aren't good for anything. And he owns Stelco here in Ontario. And I just left Dofasco right now. These are people, hard-working, blue-collar factory workers working in a steel facility that they've worked there, their parents have worked there, their grandparents have worked there. It's a very strong community, and I'll do everything we can to protect the steel. On top of it, any government contracts, we should be using Canadian steel, Ontario steel in particular. So that's what we're going to make sure we enforce moving forward. It should be all Ontario. If we can't get it in Ontario, we'll go across the country. And if we can't get it across the country, then by all means, let's get it somewhere. But make sure Ontario and Canada comes first.
Hi, Premier. It's Ray Spiteri with the Niagara Falls Review.
Hi, Ray.
Last week when you were in Niagara Falls, you announced plans to expand the QEW between Burlington and St. Catharines.
Yes.
Can you tell us what the cost will be, when that may begin, how long it will take, when it will be done?
Yeah, we're just waiting on the cost and the length of time, and we'll make sure we contact you as soon as we find out. But as all of you know, the commuters that go from Niagara into Toronto, you know, that I've been on that strip 1,000 times. It's jammed, absolutely jammed. So we're going to widen it, add more capacity, and add to the infrastructure as well, along with the bridge.
I mean, some have talked about, why are we expanding the roadway? Why don't we get more people onto trains and expanding the airport? But that's a plan with Destination Niagara. Can you expand on that a little bit, the provincial plan for that?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're increasing GO service, all day two-way GO. We're increasing ridership there. And I want to work with the people at the airport. We want to have a Destination Niagara. The mayors in the region are just incredible partners, you know, and I give them the credit. They're the ones who said, hey, let's make this happen. Let's attract more tourists. Sure, it's not just gambling, it'll be part of it, but how about the wine tours? I've been talking to people in the summer. A few people called me and said they're the best things that ever happened. But let's put more attractions there too, and attract people from all over the world to come here to the greatest region in the world. It's absolutely stunning. We have to support the airport, and along with the federal government. We need to expand the runway to get the larger planes in here. We need to rebuild a few things here as well that they're asking for, and I'm all in. But we have to make sure that the federal government's in as well. Thank you.
Hello, Premier. Andrew Halitsky, Niagara Now. Why did you and two ministers meet with a private developer, Rainer Hummel, at his home recently?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was a fundraiser. Right. That's it. So we did fundraisers. We do them with everyone, and I go to places, and we need to raise money to run campaigns like the Liberals, the NDP, and the Green Party do.
Okay, and why is public business being discussed in the homes of developers?
Well, I don't ever discuss business at homes of whoever. That's private business, and I'm very transparent. What I discuss is what I discuss at the press conferences, but thank you for that question there.
This will be the last question.
Hi, Premier. Paige Seaborn from the Lake Report. How does your vision of turning Niagara Falls into a Las Vegas tourism destination affect Niagara-on-the-Lake? And what's the plan to preserve heritage?
Well, just on heritage alone, I was just told we just gave $35 million for a theater, and that's going to be continuing investments into heritage. I think we always have to protect heritage, always. It's critical. But there's so many other opportunities on the wine tours and the wineries, and what pays for that is the economy. Making sure that when companies open up, like Asai Kasei and other companies that are expanding here, and we're investing into great opportunities and jobs, this is a great thing. And I know the region and all the mayors, they're all gung-ho, and so are the people. They want jobs. They need certainty over the next number of years. And who pays for that? The tourists pay for it, and the economy pays for that. Without the economy, if we don't protect the economy, we have nothing. You know the $3.6 billion hospital we just built? It comes from taxpayers and the economy. That's how we do things. And the Heart Hub that we just announced, that you're getting a Heart Hub here as well. Over $700 million we're investing in Heart Hubs across the province. And the theater I just mentioned, a historic theater, $35 million. It all starts with one thing, the economy. Without the economy, without a government that understands how to build jobs, you don't have any of this. You start looking like they were before we got elected 7 years ago, when everyone was leaving. All we see is people coming. So that's a good thing. We're going to continue investing. Thank you.
And that concludes our press conference. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you.